Hello and welcome to Point of View, where we give students a place to listen, learn, and lean in. I'm your host, Rahul Doejode. Today, we're joined with a special guest, Mr. Brown. Mr. Brown, it is a fact that you happen to have the coolest beard among all the faculty in school. Tell me a little bit about it. What are your motivations behind growing it?
Honestly, I've had a beard for, goodness gracious, probably since I was about 18 years old, maybe since I graduated high school.
Whoa.
I think one of the biggest motivations behind it was when I was in high school, I was like ROTC, and I was like really into it, and like I had to be clean shaven the entire time, and all of a sudden I decided not to go. I got into the Naval Academy, I was like, okay, I'm going to be clean shaven forever. Decided not to go at the last second, and was like, okay, cool, I can grow my hair, I can touch my ears, and I can grow a beard, and I had pretty big aspirations of what it was going to look like. But as anybody who is 18 years old who's trying to grow a full beard will tell you, it doesn't come in the way you think it's going to come in at first.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I've had some form of facial hair ever since.
Nice, that's pretty cool. Now that you have facial hair after 18, how difficult is it to care for?
It's a lot. It's embarrassingly a lot, if I'm being honest with you. I probably guesstimate that I probably have more products for my beard than my wife does for her hair. There are particular shampoos and particular conditioners, and then with my mustache, there's 2 different types of wax I have to have, and it all depends on if the mustache is going to behave that day. Because usually, sometimes I get in and out quick with the stash, boom, boom, and sometimes it just one side decides it's just going to do its own thing, and I'm going to go straight forward today, and you can't stop me. So it's super annoying, but yeah, I get there. Yeah. So to talk about the products you mentioned earlier, is there any product that you swear by, this is one I would always use? Yeah. So when it comes, especially with the waxes, so everyone I've met that has a handlebar mustache that uses waxes has a very, very strict I will only use this. I use 2 brands. I love Fisticuff, which is a wax that's kind of a base that I use. It's super simple, super easy, and smooth. And then I have a much stronger one that's called Fireman's, I believe it's called. It's really cool because they take a bunch of their proceeds and they donate it to a charity that helps firefighters who have passed and helps their families. And my father-in-law's a firefighter, and so a former firefighter. And so I love that aspect of it, but it goes well. Also, when it comes to brushes, I will only use bone on my beard. Yeah, so bone brushes are my way to go. I know some guys who will only use wood. I know a few guys who actually use these real metal ones, but that just sounds like you're asking for pain. But yeah, everyone's got particular things. Yeah.
That's pretty cool. So, do you have any strong opinions in the facial hair? Is there any strong opinions in the facial hair community?
Yeah, absolutely. One, I think anybody who's kind of worked way through a few different facial hairs has a very, maybe presumptuous, but with titling it, and what you have, because there's a bunch of different styles, and if you just have the hair on your chin and the hair above your lip, a mustache and bottom, that's not a goatee. It's actually a Van Dyke. A goatee is just when you have it on your chin. It's knowing the terminology is kind of when someone comes up to you and they start talking about it, they'll use something as specific as a Van Dyke. You're oh, okay, cool, you know what you're talking about. And I think also just maintain, I'm very meticulous on not letting it get real unruly, and I've had it be a lot bigger than I currently have it now, but it's just, I have to have it a certain way. I can't let it kind of do its own thing. Some people can just let it go crazy and they can pull that look off. I can't. They're not going to let me in the school building if I let it go too early. They're no, that guy can't come there, children. Yeah.
On the topic of styling your beard, have you ever tried a different style?
Oh, many. Some that I highly regret. There is I would like to say brief, but a unnecessary long period of time in college where it was a pencil thin around the outside, just it didn't. Those pictures did not age well. Did not age well at all. I've done some very different things with my mustache over the years, and I've had a handlebar mustache for about a little over 5 years now. Not consistently.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, maybe 6 actually. Yeah.
Wow. What does your significant other think about it?
It's funny. She loves my beard, and as a matter of fact, she's never seen me without one. So my wife has never seen me without a beard. And I was actually, personally, I was about 30 years old before I saw my dad without facial hair.
Whoa.
Yeah, so I did not see him. And my wife has told me very, very clearly, in no uncertain terms, that like, if I decide I want to cut it off, she needs to have say so first, because she's not entirely sure what's under there. To be quite frank with you, at this point, I'm not entirely sure what's under there anymore. The last time I shaved my beard, I was at Northview, so it was probably 2014.
Whoa.
About 2014 and 2015. And so I was 30, and I shaved off my beard, and I got carded going into an R-rated film. Like, I have a baby face, and the beard, that's one of the reasons why I grew the beard to start with, was because, like, I looked like I was 12 years old when I was 18, and I was like a giant 12-year-old, and I was like, I gotta grow a beard.
Yeah, very interesting. Very, very interesting. So, this is a pure question. So, when you see, like, let's say you're walking down the street, right, and you see someone else, like an absolute magnificent beard, do you nod at that person with, like, respect? Is that?
Oh, I'll say it. Absolutely, man. Absolutely. I'll say it. Especially, less so beards, more so mustaches. Like, I've never passed the person with a handlebar mustache, and one of us does not immediately go, hey, bro, nice mustache. Like, it happens all the time. Also, with the handlebar, I get people comment on it probably 2 to 3 times a day. Yeah, like I can't tell you the last time I made it through a day without going into public without someone saying something. It happens all the time, which is, I'm not gonna lie, like, it feels good sometimes, but like, it's fun. It's fun to, sometimes you want to be the center of attention, right?
Oh, yeah.
That's the
people, like, and I think the whole center of attention thing kind of works out great, too, because, like, from, like, all the other faculty, you're the only faculty that can actually recall that has, like, really good facial hair.
It doesn't hurt that I'm also probably the loudest faculty member. I have quite the booming voice. I have quite the booming personality, I've been told. That can be intimidating. Actually, I don't want it to be, but yeah, so for better or worse, and I know there's a plethora of people, both teachers and students, who would say for worse, but I'm not a forgettable person. I'm definitely not going to rob a bank anytime soon. I'll be picked out of a lineup like that, man. Like, it's not...
Very distinct feature for sure.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of people, in my experience, a lot of people have, like, a sort of stages to their beard journey. Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, so like I said, first I tried to grow one, and I could not grow, like, around my lips. The corner of my mouth, it did not want to grow. And so I was like, okay. And my mustache grew really slow. I was like, okay, so I'll just do, like, the beard around the base, and... God, I thought it looked good, and I looked back, even like I remember like looking back pictures like a year later, I was like, what was I thinking? I used to have it very trim, very short. COVID's when it got the longest. COVID by far, because COVID, like, even my hair, like, I have the man bun now and stuff like that, but like, man, this is the longest my hair has ever been. Before COVID, I had short hair, like, my whole life. Never had long hair. And COVID, obviously, we all just kind of did our own thing, and mine was just like, well, I'm not going to, like, you couldn't go to a barber. That's a job. It's like a close-up thing. So, like, I just let it all go, and it kind of got big, and it kind of was kind of like, I wonder how far I can let this go and see what happens. And yeah, it was different. But one of the funny things is, like, learning to live with it, especially if you have a bigger beard. There are certain things you just can't do that you don't realize you can't do. Like, I can't eat an ice cream cone. I can't. It's just way too messy. It gets in the beard. I have to stay clear as much as I possibly can from honey. You can't get near honey. I haven't had baklava in 20 years. Like, you can't, that stuff, if it gets in your beard, it's a nightmare to get out. So you just, like, if I go to get ice cream, I have to use a spoon. I cannot have ice cream on a cone. It's just something you can't do.
That sounds like a blessing and a curse at the same time.
Yeah, like, think about it. When you eat ice cream, you always have to, like, the napkin, you, like, wipe your lips, but, like, I can't wipe it out of this. It gets like, the more you wipe, the more deep down it gets, and then it's like, then 3 hours later, you're like, do I put strawberries? Oh yeah, it's ice cream.
Yeah. And I'm gonna ask you, so if you choose, what do you prefer, mustache or beard?
I mean,
like just mustache, or like the beard as a whole.
The beard as a whole, I love, but at this point, I'd be much more apt to cut my beard off and leave the stash, just because of the length. Like, if I shave my beard right now off, I could have this back in 3 weeks.
Oh.
Yeah, it grows fast. The mustache takes a long time to grow. So it's one of those things, like, do I want to cut it off? Because I know it's going to be at least a year, if not a year and a half, because the way my mustache comes out, like, it's a very slow growth process. Do I want to go through that? And also the problem is, like, there's always that moment in, like, growing a beard where, like, you have what anyone with a big beard refer to as the 3 days. There's a point where, like, you're growing a beard, you got the 5 o'clock shadow, it's coming in, you're looking good, and then there are 3 days that you just walk through coals because your face is like, your skin is like, this itch is so bad, and it will last for 3 days, and it's just the worst thing you've ever experienced. You're just like, I want to shave it off right now. If you can break through that 3 days, you're good to go.
Oh, it's a little like a certain period.
Yeah, it's like, that's the thing. Like, if I shave it off, I don't want to have to go through that 3 days again, because if I shave it off if you shave it off right now, it sounds funny, it sounds like a joke, but I'm not kidding you, man. If you have this as big as my beard right now, if I shave it off, my face gets so cold.
Oh.
And you literally, like, you don't realize how much warmth it gives you. You get so cold, and also, you can't sit with, like, your hand on your arm, like, rest your hand, because you'll slide. Like, there's a level of friction that the beard gives you that you're accustomed to, so you're unconsciously putting your weight on your hand in a certain position that without it, you slide down, like, your head goes to the table, and you look like an idiot. You're like, what's wrong with this guy? He had a beard, now he doesn't. Yeah, he doesn't know how to operate anymore as a human being. So, yeah.
It becomes like a key component.
It really is. Yeah, it's also just sort of like, I don't know, it's almost become part of my personality. Like, God, I do kind of want to do I have a 2-year-old. I do kind of want to shave the thing off and do the reveal. Like, if you see those videos, like, guys with big beards doing reveals for the babies, like, I kind of want to do that to see what he does. But
to add to that, one thought about how your son will react to it, how do you think that he might react?
I think he'd be very upset. Yeah. Especially, I've never seen someone where the kid's happy. They're always, like, really upset or just confused. Like, wait, the voice I know is coming out of this person, but this is not the person I know. You know? But also, like, if he didn't react, I would have shaved my beard off for nothing. And then, like, that's my other big fear is, like, man, if I do that, like, if I shave it off and he doesn't react, I'm going to be, like, really bummed out because I did all this, I have to go through this whole thing again for nothing. So.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. That's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. Very interesting thing about like, the whole, like, someone's child will be, like, freaked out if this person who usually has a beard does not have a beard at all.
Yeah.
It'd be very interesting thing for sure. Any, like, last minute thoughts? Anything you want to talk about?
Not really. I mean, it's fun. Everyone should grow a beard at some point in their life. Like, it is a lot. It is definitely a commitment. Not gonna lie. I would say I would say my water bill would be a lot less because there's a lot of shower time dedicated to the beard. So, but yeah, it's fun. I don't know. I like it. It's also supposedly it's healthier.
Oh,
people
really?
with beards people with beards because of it generally, like, retains bacteria. It actually increases your, like, there's a bunch of studies that show it increases your immunity levels. And it's also interesting too. There's a study that one of the IVs did. I don't remember which one it was. One of the IVs did maybe 4 or 5 years ago, and it, like, registered brainwaves of people when they saw people with big beards. And one of the interesting things was, with the guy with a big beard, when other men saw them, it was an intimidation thing. Like, it was a weird, like, a lot of times the part of the brain that, like, generates, like, aggression, like, would be, like, it would, like, light up. And they're like, oh, that's interesting. Like, this person sees this guy as a threat. And then there's also, like, when women would see it, it was almost like a safety thing. There's something animalistic in our brains that's still there.
Yeah,
with that lion's mane sort of ideology. But I always thought that was really interesting when I saw that.
Yeah, very, very interesting about the whole way. I would not, like, me personally, I would never have been able to make that connection. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Very interesting. Yeah.
Also helps with sun protection, you know?
Yeah, it is true. Also helps with the, you know, like you said earlier, the cold.
Yeah. That was Australian. I remember that being an Australian study that came out when I was like, cool. don't know why I'm not healthier then, but
Thanks so much. This concludes this episode about facial hair care with Mr. Brown. Thank you so much for listening. For a transcript of this episode, head to the Point of View tab on our website, nhsmessenger.org, and follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at NHS Point of View for